Why Google buys companies it doesn't need. Ever wonder why Google purchases businesses it doesn't even require? Google spends billions acquiring small firms, specialized software, or goods that don't seem to have anything to do with search or advertising. It appears excessive and possibly even wasteful at first. However, every purchase has a plan, a strategy, and occasionally a future vision that most of us aren't even able to perceive today. We're solving the enigma of Google's ostensibly pointless purchases today, and believe me when I say that nothing in this digital giant is ever truly wasted. Number 9. Talent over products, the acqui-hire strategy. Google frequently purchases people rather than goods. The navigation software Waze is the most prominent example. Even though Waze's software was amazing, Google truly appreciated the group of engineers who created it. The goal of this acqui-hiring tactic is to acquire outstanding talent that is hard to come by on the free market. Big firms like Google are frequently slow-moving. Their hierarchical structures, bureaucracy, and procedures make innovation more difficult. Google immediately infuses their company with agile, innovative minds by acquiring a startup. These groups contribute concepts, innovative methods, and problem-solving abilities that can be used on any of Google's many initiatives, from AI to maps. The talent is often far more valuable than the actual result. It is comparable to purchasing a powerful engine specifically for the driver. Number 8. Defensive moves, eliminating potential threats. Not all acquisitions are made for expansion. Some are made for defense. Google has a lengthy history of purchasing businesses that might eventually face competition. Consider YouTube as an example. YouTube was not yet a significant rival in search or advertising when it was acquired in 2006, but it was quickly developing into a center for user-generated content. Google seized control over the world's fastest-growing video network and neutralized a potential threat by acquiring YouTube. With purchases like DoubleClick, this tactic was replicated, giving Google control over digital advertising and lowering the possibility that competitors would catch up. These actions demonstrate that Google occasionally acts in a preemptive manner, purchasing possible rivals before they can pose a threat to the company's primary business. Number 7. Data is power access to hidden insights. Google is a company built on data, and sometimes the value of a purchase isn't the product, but the information it provides. Consider Google's acquisition of Fitbit. Many wondered why Google, a software and AI company, would buy a hardware manufacturer. The answer lies in the data. Fitness trackers collect an enormous amount of personal information, sleep cycles, activity levels, heart rates, and more. This data can be used to train AI models, predict trends, and even develop new health products or advertising strategies. In the tech world, data is power, and Google is constantly looking for ways to gather insights that give it a competitive edge. The acquisition may not have been about selling watches, but about gaining access to information that will fuel future innovations. Number 6. Betting on the future visionary investments. In the near term, many Google purchases appear superfluous, but when considered from a long-term lens, they make perfect sense. One such instance is DeepMind, which was purchased in 2014. There were few real-world uses for artificial intelligence, which was still in its infancy. However, Google saw that AI had the potential to revolutionize a wide range of industries, including robotics, healthcare, and search. DeepMind was a wager on the future of intelligence itself and is currently driving advancements in autonomous systems, medical research, and energy efficiency. Google considers a company's potential in 5, 10, or 20 years when making purchases, not just what it can accomplish now. These risky but potentially game-changing strategic bets secure Google's hegemony in developing technologies long before rivals are even aware of what's coming. Number 5. Strengthening the ecosystem. Sometimes an acquisition's motivation is straightforward: strengthen its ecosystem is Google's goal. The objective is to close gaps that increase the interconnectedness of Google's portfolio of services rather than always developing a new product. Consider Nest as an example. Nest operated as a home automation and smart thermostat company on its own. It didn't seem to fit in with either search or advertising. However, Nest's integration with Android devices, Google Home, and Google Assistant produced a seamless smart home ecosystem. All of a sudden, Google was in charge of not only data, but also the surroundings in which its users interact and live. Because consumers depend on several products, quitting Google becomes difficult, making the company's ecosystem stickier. The purchased product enhances Google's overall network effect, a quiet but potent competitive advantage, even if it isn't revolutionary on its own. Number 4. Experimentation and moonshots. Some acquisitions are like scientific experiments labs for testing ideas that might never directly profit the company. Google often buys startups to explore concepts without risking its main revenue streams. Consider Waymo, the self-driving car company. Google didn't buy it because it needed cars today. The acquisition allowed Google to explore autonomous transportation, experiment with AI in real-world scenarios, and learn about sensors, mapping, and user behavior. Even if self-driving cars take decades to become mainstream, the insights gained inform Google's AI, mapping, and robotics efforts. These acquisitions are innovation playgrounds, and Google is willing to spend billions on them because the potential payoff is transformative. Number 3. Branding and market perception. Believe it or not, some acquisitions are about branding and perception. Google wants to be seen as an innovator, always at the cutting edge of technology. Acquiring startups, even ones that seem small or niche, sends a powerful message to investors, competitors, and potential employees. Google is always looking ahead, always experimenting, and always leading. This perception has real-world impact that attracts top talent, reassures shareholders, and positions Google as a company that shapes the future rather than reacts to it. Even if the product never becomes central to Google's operations, the brand value of being a visionary is immense. Number 2. Monetization opportunities in unexpected places. Sometimes Google buys a company not for what it does today, but for how it can monetize it tomorrow. A product may seem irrelevant initially, but when integrated into Google's ecosystem, it can unlock new revenue streams. Take AdMob, a mobile advertising platform. When Google acquired it, mobile ads were still in their infancy. But integrating AdMob into Android created a foundation for Google's mobile ad dominance, a business now worth billions annually. Google often buys small, seemingly unnecessary companies to prepare for market shifts, ensuring that when the landscape changes, it's ready to capitalize faster than anyone else. Number 1. Cultural influence and innovation injection. Large corporations often struggle with bureaucracy and risk aversion. Startups, on the other hand, are scrappy, fast-moving, and fearless. Google recognizes the value of acquiring these companies for the culture and mindset they bring. Small teams have unique problem-solving approaches, unconventional thinking, and innovative workflows. By integrating these teams into Google, the company injects fresh energy into its larger, more rigid structures. Even if the startup's product fails, the lessons learned and the new ways of thinking can inspire Google's internal teams, leading to breakthroughs in completely unrelated projects. Sometimes the cultural acquisition is just as valuable as the technological one. So next time you hear about Google acquiring a tiny startup or niche app that no one cares about, don't dismiss it. Behind the scenes, a complex, long-term strategy is unfolding, shaping the tech world in ways most of us can't yet imagine. If you found this breakdown fascinating, hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.